Senate Minority Leader Charles Schumer, he's about to address the pro-Israel AIPAC conference. Vice President Pence, former ambassador to the UN Nikki Haley, and Secretary of State Mike Pompeo all spoke at AIPAC earlier today. This as 2020 Democrat contenders did not attend AIPAC. They include Bernie Sanders, Kamala Harris, Elizabeth Warren, Beto O'Rourke, and others. This after the progressive MoveOn.org demanded a boycott because of AIPAC's opposition to President Obama's Iran's deal. Also, Bernie Sanders, Warren, and Harris say they'd get the U.S. to re-enter the Iran nuke deal if they get elected as president. Let's bring in the former ambassador to Israel. He is Danny Ayalon. Thanks for coming on, Your Honor. First, your take here on Democrats not going to AIPAC and now talking again about the Iran nuke deal?
Well, it's first of all good to be with you. I think it's quite deplorable, and we have always enjoyed the bipartisan support because this is American interest, it's Israeli interest, it's the interest of peace, because when America has Israel's back, then the tranquility and stability prevails, because anyone who wants to challenge Israel's security or challenge Israel's legitimacy, they know that they have the U.S. In between to defend. And when we have this, when Israel becomes a partisan issue, I don't think it serves any purpose, and certainly not the interest of our two countries.
Ambassador, how aggressive will Israel get with the Gaza Strip? Because Mr. Netanyahu, he's facing a tough re-election. A number of military officials are squaring off against him.
Yes, you know, Israel is a very vibrant democracy, just like here in the United States. In our region, unfortunately, we are not accustomed to see open and free elections. Yes, it is a tough decision, although I think my expectation is for Bibi to be re-elected, Gaza notwithstanding. And I think this is what Hamas was banking on, that Israel's hands will be tied because of the election. But we have to do what we need to do, and Hamas has become a more and more aggressive with the auspices and the support from Iran. Without Iran, Hamas wouldn't be able to smuggle all its weapons and munitions, and also when Israel allows for humanitarian aid, when Israel, for humanitarian purposes, when Israel allows just things to go in, whether it's to build homes, cement and all that, they use it actually to create and build all those missiles against us, and this will have to stop one way or another. And if Israel has to exercise our right for self-defense and even go into Gaza, we will do it.
Okay, we know that the EU doesn't recognize Israel's sovereignty over the Golan Heights. The president was pretty aggressive there and assertive there, and saying yes, Israel deserves that sovereignty. I want to ask you about House Majority Leader Steny Hoyer defending Israel at AIPAC, and he criticized freshman Congresswoman Ilhan Omar after she was accused of making anti-Semitic and anti-Israel comments. Here's what Congresswoman Omar had to say about pro-Israel protesters. Watch.
I don't think any of them realize that people like myself and many of the people in this room can care less about what they have to say.
Let's listen to what Steny Hoyer said about Congresswoman Omar. Watch.
I am a part of a large bipartisan coalition in Congress supporting Israel, an overwhelming majority in the Congress of the United States. I tell Israel's accusers and detractors, accuse me.
Also, at the same time, Ambassador, appalling human rights abuses against women and others in the Middle East, including in Iran. Iran is second to China in executions and is the world's top executioner of children and teenagers. We're talking hanging, stoning, death by firing squad, amputation of hands. That's Iran. There's not a lot about criticism that from Democrats. Your take on that?
I think it's very unfortunate. And again, we see this singling out Israel, which is the only democracy in the region, in the Middle East. It's the only Jewish state. You know, we are up against, there are 57 Muslim countries, 22 Arab countries, and one Jewish state, which is the best friend and ally of the United States. And Steny Hoyer got it right. You know, he's been long enough in Congress to understand it. So all these newcomers who come, and I think it's quite showing some ignorance, if not just impertinence, to make any opinions before studying the issue. It's very deplorable, and of course it's very biased and showing a double standard when the only democracy in the region is being criticized and not Iran and Venezuela, Cuba, all those really despotic regimes.
Ambassador Danny Ayalon, thank you so much for coming on the show. We really appreciate it. Come back soon.